Hi, my name is Luis,
Hi, I'm ROMI.
and we are My Place of Querétaro, real estate and relocation. So we live in Querétaro in Mexico. We are in the central part of Mexico, and what we do is we receive people from overseas and take them since the very beginning. We hold their hands and help them make the transition smoother and easier. When we are ready to receive people, we want to know what they are looking for when they decide to move down here. And by fully understanding or by understanding their needs, we look for different places and we put them in a property that they either want to buy or rent. But we go beyond that and we offer a variety of services until they are ready, settled down, and happy living in Querétaro.
That's right. And so today we have some guests that have gone through that process with Liz and I, a lovely couple, clients, and now friends who had a dream and we're going to talk about from their dream until the process of going through a purchase and now 6 months into living in Querétaro and see how they're doing.
We want to introduce you, Mike and Sherbet, our dearest friend. Thank you for being here with us.
Welcome, Sherbet, and welcome, wife. Hello.
Thank you.
We're very, very happy to have you here and finally have creating this for everyone. We're pretty excited.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've been wanting to do this. So, could you briefly introduce yourselves a bit so that our listeners and watchers can know who you are?
Yes, of course. My name is Chauvette Bancy Anderson. I am from Dallas, Texas. Well, Mike and I have lived in Dallas for
Of these.
and after working very hard on both of our career, there just became a time to where we considered exploring different countries to lend out our retirement years and relax a little bit. We decided to explore. We settled on Mexico because Mexico is close to Texas and California, so it's easy for us to get there to both of our families if needed. Um, so
And you got children, right?
yeah, we do it in the year. Yes, we do. We have adult children who blessed us to be here. They're very excited for us. Initially, we started out thinking that we wanted to live on the coast. So we visited all of the coastal communities and decided that it was not for us. So we started to look at central Mexico, found Querétaro, and this was it.
Yeah, I enjoy some time with lovely realtors, now friends. Used to be a tech exec. Now I'm semi-retired, working pretty much in different capacity. A little bit on the tech side, but more so helping young professionals, small business owners, and entrepreneurs with overcoming mindset issues and various challenges that prevent them from showing up in the world the way they need to show up to be their best version. Just to sort of echo some of the things my wife said, we were dead set on going to the coastline. I mean, I felt that in the very fibers of my body, getting up each morning and going out and having a walk on the beach and getting my feet wet and we went to Mazatlan and that was our spot. We loved it. The price was right. It was far enough away from Culiacan for us not to be concerned. And we went to breakfast one morning around 8:30 and the sun scorched us so bad that we immediately were like, nope, this is not going to be the place.
And what season was this?
This was June, July.
Okay.
So it was just as the temperature was warming up and we were coming into the humid period. We talked when we got back soaking wet, like, gotta repeat this.
Yeah.
So fans had a very large, long list of things that were must-haves for her. We narrowed it down to 3 centralized locations: Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Queretaro. And we came here first. And after we were here twice, we were like, this is... I'll stop talking so I don't stay too much.
Well, first of all, let me congratulate you on pronouncing the city. Get it? We know it's very hard names. No,
Yes.
No.
We hear our fellow expats really, but
It takes
It takes a while.
Yeah.
It took me a while. But you be purpose again. We can see that.
So maybe I think one of the things you guys learn, and it's a really good lesson to take to heart, is that no matter what your expectations may be, you really have to come or go to the place that you're considering on
Right.
moving and be there on the ground, because one thing is the thought, the plan, and a different thing is actually being there, right?
yeah, I totally agree. I think it's incredibly misleading sometimes, because what most of us will do if we're stateside is we'll jump on YouTube, we'll follow a couple or two who are in that market that we're considering. And, based on their commentary, that might make us incredibly motivated.
Yeah.
But without what you said, Rami, being there, interacting, seeing what life is like, being there in various seasons to see what the anomalies look like. We're in
Yeah.
a rainy season here now, and it's completely different than the other seasons.
So are you being here for 6 months and this is your first rainy season?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
you are now experiencing that. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's been great. I want people to understand that you have a dream and then there is the reality of it all. My dream was to live on the coast, to open a window and have a nice ocean view. But the reality is you're probably going to have your blinds closed for most of the day because the sun is scorching your patio, so you cannot have it open. That's why it's important to put your feet on the ground and walk these areas and live in these environments for a little while before you really decide to make the move. I think the experience of living it and being there is very important.
Can I have one more point?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we found particularly helpful once we got here is the people here are incredibly friendly. Like, very high on our list.
So we're not danger.
You're not afraid.
I had guns locked and loaded every night in Texas. I don't even think about that anymore. So absolutely not. But what I was going to share is that here, the local people are so welcoming and warm. They will share with you what you don't know. And there's no better testament than somebody who has been here for X number of years, where that's far more than an expat coming over and being here like us for 6 months, and then jumping on YouTube and talking about our experience.
Yeah.
That's partial. Whereas the local person, they have a 360-degree view. They know all of the ins and outs, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And so when we met local people, they had nothing but positive things to say about Querétaro.
Well, we're happy to hear that. That's a different point of view. So I've been told that when people overseas, they no, or they listen about Mexico, they just listen to a different story of what you are saying right now. So I'm happy that you are bringing up this specific subject. Yeah. So can we go back a little bit to your dreams? I am very curious to know, like, what if you chose Querétaro once you knew it was Querétaro? Uh, what did you think about living not only in Querétaro but in Mexico? What your expectations were? If you were afraid of anything, or yeah, in general, your thoughts like before moving in mind.
I think that once we did our research, you find out that Mexico is more than what you hear on the evening news. It's more than the rumors you hear from your friends who visit Mexico and have a bad experience. It's being here and getting to experience the people. Knowledge is everything. And to be able to experience something for yourself, not just through the eyes of other people, means so much when it comes to making a decision like this.
Were you worried about something in specific?
Actually, because Mike and I had previously had experience with traveling to different countries. We're very open to different cultures and just different ways of living. So we didn't have that fear that people would have had they not had the opportunity to leave their hometown or to leave their own country. Like, we understand that there's a whole big world out here, and not everything is going to be in a pretty little package and nice and neat the way you want. So that's another reason why you need to be sure about your reasons for wanting to move to a different country, and you have to be open and accepting.
I think that's incredibly well stated. I knew that this was going to be different than anything I'd ever experienced.
Yeah.
Right? I'd heard all the videos, all of the good stuff, the stuff in the middle, and the stuff not so good. To be honest, we did make one of our biggest decision points safety.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the time, Querétaro was number 2 safest state and all the other 37 states. So we said, well, that one's checked off. But from an expectations perspective, I think what Nancy said was spot on. We knew that we were going to a different country. We were exchanging citizenship in the States for being a resident.
Yeah.
Immigrant for all intents and practical purposes. And we would have to bend, shape, and change, not the people here. And so I think it was right-sizing expectation early on as to how we would behave, which really set us up differently. We have a lot of expat friends who have come and gone because they thought that this environment was going to cater to them. And while the people are incredibly kind, in many cases forgiving, this is their country.
Correct.
This is their, and they are hosting us. So if there's any bending, it should be on that part of the expat.
Well, I appreciate very much what you're saying right now, because we've seen some people coming and having a different attitude, different from you, and I think that they expect that a little bit or a lot of what they see and receive in the States, and well, no, that'll be very challenging for everyone trying to do so. So I'm grateful, guys, for you to have that mindset.
Oh, no, definitely. Something that I find that's very interesting, and at the same time, it is paradoxical, that precisely what we tend to love about this country, and this happens in all relationships, even like in a marriage with your partner. What sounds exciting and enticing at the beginning might later challenge you. because you like the relaxed atmosphere, but at the same time, know that that relaxed atmosphere might mean that standards of quality might not be up to par with what you're used to, right? So these are the things that we're faced with and trying to adapt to a new place, correct?
Let's talk about that.
Okay, sure.
Okay. We're younger than I am.
Probably not deep, but real honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming from the executive ranks. So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
by the numbers. Well, I get here and we call a gentleman over to adjust light switches. He says I'm going to be there between 8 and 10. That's a problem already for me
Yeah.
because I got this large window.
Yeah.
And that's very calm.
Now it's 12:30 and I have done everything to restrain myself from phoning him. And just at the point of breaking, I did a WhatsApp. Sorry, I'm not going to make it today.
Oh.
Now, it's customary in the U.S., for the most part, for there to be an early warning that there's not going to be an arrival so that you can continue doing whatever you want to do with your day. Here, from a cultural perspective, you both correct me if I'm wrong, there is a very tranquil, relaxed mode of operation. And it appears to me that family is at the center. And if a worker has to choose between doing something family-oriented and coming to your house, hand down, he's taking family.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So while I have an appreciation for what you said, it has taken me time to adjust to this norm here. Not everyone is in the situation I just described or is tardy or whatever. But it's just that the way it is conducted is different. And if you're a by the numbers person and you don't have the ability to ebb and flow with life, that's enough all by itself to send you back home.
Correct. Liz and I, and I've lived here for a year, 40 years. And we both lived abroad. And this is what I find that I like about this business partnership. Well, we're friends now, obviously, but we have to contend with this every single day with our colleagues. Because the way Liz and I were is very much like that. But we have also learned to be a little bit more tempered, to be softer. Yes. Remember when we used to do the walkthroughs and we're like, just, walk in and we need to turn on the water heater and we need to slow down, right? The rhythm is different. People in general, they don't work like Liz and I do because we both lived abroad. You in Japan, very structured.
And also I work for Americans like for a long time. So I understand the schedule, objective, follow through with milestone.
No, it's non-existent. In general, the culture, especially, I tell Liz all the time, and it probably freaks her out. I'm from the northern part of Mexico, which is a little bit closer to the where I live, a little bit more structured. But in the central part, even when I moved from the northern part of Mexico here, it was a cultural shock. It really was. The rhythm is different. We have a great plumber, right? Plumber/electrician. And we've sent them out, with clients. And one of my clients said to me one day, he doesn't seem like a Mexican plumber. And I said, how's that? He was on time. Why? Because he worked for 10 years managing a ranch outside Houston.
I can attest to that because when our guy didn't come, it called you guys and he.
Everything fell over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, this is where Liz and I, it's a learning experience. We have to constantly be adapting. And I think that's what's made us or continuously forces us to be flexible, empathetic, but also come back to the core values that we try to adhere to, but sometimes you just have to be a little bit more adaptable. I guess that's the word. Do you agree?
I think that would be the most important trait that I believe one should have when deciding to move to Mexico or any country for that matter.
Yeah.
Because things are going to be different than what you're used to. And another thing that I would highly recommend is if you're considering moving to a different country, learn the language. A much better appreciation of your new environment, and you'll have a better time because you can communicate.
Now, I think that part is important, but also we have seen or we have different customers, friends that have been here for a long time already, and they have some Spanish, but they can still live here. And people will usually, well, your family.
Yes.
But how do you feel with limited, like put it like that. I don't mean to be rude.
No, it's not.
In Spanish, but still I guess that you feel free to go out, hang out, go to the restaurants, to the groceries, whenever you want to. And can you still communicate? Can you still get what you are looking for?
I think we were fortunate. We laid down a foundation before we left. We were starting to at least learn the basics. These are the things to expect if you're going to be at the. These are the things that you're going to have to communicate if you're at the meat market, if you're at the DN, right? The basics, so that we could come and have enough of the basics to live.
Yeah.
Where it really is interesting, at least for me, now that we're a year into our Spanish learning, we meet every Saturday with our teacher. And let me tell you, he is tough. We used to teach at the University of Mexico City. And now he lives over in Kiev, just right around the corner. So it's really cool because he's got all the local way, he's got the local dialect, and plus he's teaching us like the grammar by the books. But all that to say, if you really, and I think Fan said it first, if you really want to have a cultural experience, right? There's so much art, there's so many museums, there's so much to enrich your life. You can't do that if you have limited. You can still live really good. I don't want to take anything from that. But to really amp up the experience, to have what I coin a local like this, you've got to be able to conjugate verbs, present tense to past tense.
But I love the part.
You gotta be able to do. It's being a little kid all over again. The language and being okay with making mistakes.
I mean, that's where we are now. And I mean, I would say you could get by. You could definitely get by not knowing the language. But as we're learning and we're out exploring, and a lot of people in Querétaro do not speak English. So we are forced, if we're at the market, to stumble, and finally they'll understand us, and then we'll laugh, and we can get what we need. But
So that means that people is not mean to you.
Not at all. In fact, because you are trying, they will go way above and beyond. In fact, we had a situation a few weeks ago where we were in line. I can't remember what we were doing, but there was a gentleman, two people back.
yeah,
He got out of line and said, "Hey, I understand some English. What is it that you're trying to?"
yeah,
I never met him before,
of course.
And there's another time where we were on the side of the curb. We couldn't get transportation. A guy, 3 vehicles back, gets out, walks over, talks to the Uber driver. And I mean, it's just the quality of people here is unlike anything I've ever seen. Hard for the time I spent in the armed services.
Wow.
Just really good people. So they go above and beyond to help if you're trying.
Yeah. And if you have a positive attitude.
Yeah, so we already talked about a little bit because we would like to talk more, of course. To keep moving on. So, your expectations, right? And then you decided Querétaro was your place, and then you were ready instead of renting to buy. So, Howard Beck, tell us about your experience and why buying instead of renting. Wow.
Because my family are pretty decisive. And once we found this community, uh, we were all in. And we know that we want to do these years in Querétaro, and we know that this is the place we're going to be for a while. So it wasn't hard to make a decision to buy. We had no need to rent.
Yeah, I think we were really, really blessed that, corporate had been good to us. We were able to save up a couple nickels, enough nickels to be able to buy something here that we could call our own. As I think about the journey and the counsel that you guys gave from the time we said, we believe that Tivada is where we would like to live. We are prepared now to look at property. You guys made it very, very simple for us. All of the hard parts, and Fance as a realtor, or to endorse both of you for the work that you did is significant. I just don't remember having any difficulty other than waiting for realtors that you were coordinating with to get back to you.
Correct.
It's nice that you guys made everything super simple, from the property selection, which was vast, all the way to walking us through what to expect for the various stages of the purchase process, all the way down to taking us to the closing, walking us through all the documents.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Because it's all in Spanish.
But let me ask you one question, like, how did you find out? That some people
They
say
turn
that
question here.
There was a video that you guys did with a gentleman down in Zakiad.
Oh, we had
You guys talked about various different
neighborhood
colonias, and that actually helped us zero in on the ones that we were interested in. So it was through that video that we thought you were all on YouTube.
Okay. And I remember being nervous to reach out to you guys. Right? One.
Yeah, you guys were like rock stars.
When we're doing it. When we decided, okay, so this is where we're going. Are we gonna call them? Or are we gonna reach out? And so we scheduled that there's a preliminary call that we called with you guys, and it was amazing.
And you took the call, and you had grandbabies that you were going to be meeting with 30 minutes after. You had to hurry up and finish the call one time so you can get to be with your grandbabies. But I just thought, if it were me, I wouldn't even had to call that day. But because you guys have the heart to help people, you took the call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That we try to balance our lives in.
Okay, so the discovery call went well. It went well. I mean, ROMI was very professional, very knowledgeable, and that's how we learned about your neighborhood tour. Yes, that neighborhood tour is fantastic. I recommend the neighborhood tour too.
You will learn.
Fantastic. Yeah. That would help us decide. Can you help us describe like what is a neighborhood? So during the neighborhood tour, Liz and ROMI will take you around to the different neighborhoods all around Queretaro, different expat hubs, or where the locals live. They'll tell you everything about each neighborhood. It's just very helpful.
Pros and cons.
Yeah. So on the pros and cons piece, that's a really good point, because I wanted to make that. I recall us having 3 neighborhoods, Borgia, Refugia, and
And see about that.
You also pronounce very well Sibata.
I lived there, I bet. But I remember us looking at those, and they all have pros and cons.
Yeah, of course.
But I recall distinctly, I don't remember, I think it was you, Ben, that says, and with respect to appreciation, that was number 1. Fulvio was number 2. So that gave us a sense of clarity on the acquisition of this property because all the other properties are going up in value. Why wouldn't this one? Yeah, the grounds here in Zimbabwe are just absolutely phenomenal. People sleep in roads. I never see people sleep in roads. Well, I haven't since I left Germany. I mean, it's really, really clean. It's beautiful to the whole. So thank you.
Okay. I just would like you to explain people that we design the colony too, right? We
No, it's not anything random. Obviously, before you have the discovery call, if you remember, you fill out a jury questionnaire.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so that's very important because by the time we're sitting in front of you in a Zoom call, we have a basic idea of what you want and who you are. And this discovery call can last anywhere between 45 minutes. We'll go over some over an hour. Maybe this time not because I wanted to be with my friend kid. But I say, and fun. Yeah, no, sometimes see when the discovery call is over, especially when Liz and I take it together, we'll tell our clients, okay, we'll let you guys go. We're going to stay on because everything's so fresh in our mind. And that we'll sit and discuss. And obviously, during all the time that we're having this call, we're taking notes. That's really important. Copious notes. And we'll refer back to them. That's really important for us. And then we'll stay on and we'll have fresh feedback. Like, what do you think? This neighborhood, we might have already discussed it during the call, but still maybe something that we didn't think of during the call, we can come up with it.
We kind of visualize our customers where, depending on the answers, where they would like to be and what we know on the different neighborhoods. So it's like a game where we are betting. Is that the word?
And you actually told us what you thought would be the great place for us. Really? And we're here. Oh, okay, great. I might have talked about the ROI here because I kind of know what how CWDA has come to grow.
Yeah.
And continues growing.
And continues. And it has not peaked.
And you also talked me off the ledge of going to El Campanario because he was a little bit out of my book. All good guy.
So part where Liz and I, even before, once we've read the answers to the questions that we're asking you, we will sit, Liz and I, before the call and say, okay, how are we going to help this couple or this person? Let's listen first, obviously, because at the beginning when we first started working together, it's like, oh, look at that, I don't know. And then we learned that, hey, let's listen. And once we listen, then we can take you and guide you and bring you down to earth. Yes, sometimes. Yeah. In a kind of way.
Very kind.
We keep learning because it's not only that. When we are on the road with you in the tour, or when we are looking for properties for the customers, we keep learning. We keep our ears open and our mind open.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things might change.
Yes. And adapting, because I've had couples where I picked them up for the neighborhood tour, and we might have had that discovery call a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And the first thing, obviously, after we say hellos, I'll say, has anything changed? And many times they'll say, yes, we've done more research. And now this is where we're thinking. So we can have a plan with us for that tour, that neighborhood tour. But I'm going to adapt to what's going on with them right now. And so that's the exciting part about working. Yeah. our customers important.
We feel like we are ready for the adventure. Every customer is different, and we discover new things, and it's like, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
This fate is going to happen. Yeah, we're excited every
And there's
time.
never an end.
Right.
There's never an end. It's an ongoing process of learning and adapting, and that's the metaphor of also moving to a different country, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, we need to keep moving. So we were with you all the time to buy this house, to guide you, back through the legal part.
Yes.
Did you find any difference with the process that you got handled in the U.S. when you buy houses? Anything that you think is relevant to bring in this conversation?
Here, the notary handle everything, whereas in the States, it's the mortgage company or the bank that does everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a big difference. But when you guys explained in the process, there were no surprises.
Okay, good.
Because we knew beforehand what we were dealing with. We always try to anticipate the most we can. Exactly. And there's no escrow. That's different. Yeah. It's important to understand. Yeah. And the money goes straight to the or the developer. That can be a scary right.
How did you feel about that? Because you knew that way to happen.
You know, if I had been doing it or if we had been doing it on our own, I might have had pause towards the red flags on it. But the fact is that you guys were there every step of the way. I remember you taking your glasses off, putting them on, and you looking at the paperwork 2 or 3 times to make sure everything was squared away. And, you know, first impressions are last impressions. When you see that 4 or 5 times, we're just like, that's just how she's just very.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it. You said, Michael, send money here. Yes, ma'am.
He did that. It's very comforting having professionals here.
That we can trust.
Yeah, that have been through it. You know the system, you know the process, and we just went with it.
Yeah.
And how about the no inspectors? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's real different.
Yeah.
Yes. So you are your own inspector. You know? So, and as far as you can go, because we know it says brick and mortar, it's not like you back to the wall. So, after you close, you do a walkthrough and you check everything that you need to check, and just hope you have a warranty.
No, we did that walkthrough with you guys. We did the walkthrough.
No, we didn't do it alone. And I remember you and Liz turning on faucets and turning on lights and making sure everything worked.
Yeah.
I just want to explain to the audience that it depends to who you buy. The process might be a little bit different in terms of the inspection, because the developer, they give you this guarantee, right? Like, I don't remember for this property, but it depends on the waterproofing or the structure or the kitchen. They give you different terms.
Yeah.
Whereas if you buy from a private person, you still have a guarantee, but it's not as formal as the one that you get when you buy from a developer.
Oh, yeah.
So, for instance, right now we're running out a process, and we suggested to bring the engineer and the plumber and the electrician to have checked that property.
Yeah.
And so these ladies buying from a private person. Okay. So I just wanted to explain that slight difference. And of course, we help you with all of that. And great.
We have a couple of friends that we met in this community, and they've been able to shed some additional light on it. We bought a condominium. So for us, our builder is here. You get standard warranty, just like you said, there's for a variety of different components within the home, and they have a variety of durations. But some of our friends, they went out, they acquired an architect. The architect then
That's a different story.
and brought in his own team to do the build. And then after everything was done, all the monies exchanged hands. Some of our friends didn't have a warranty at all.
Really?
They didn't have a warranty at all. Some of the builders were nicer than others and came back and did little things, and the others were like, you're on your own. Oh, it's no different than U.S. Not all builders in the U.S. are created equal. There's some that we flat out avoid. I think that's going to be a worldwide or international situation, so it's not just isolated to here. I would tell people, if you're endeavoring to buy a home, a standalone house, you want to use folks like Liz and ROMI who know people that do this every single day, and they can guide you to the right people that are going to treat you the way you're accustomed.
I want to bold this time, Mike, because I think it's very important. So ROMI here has more experience than me, of course. That's number one. And then number two is her background is from the builder's architect. So she has a family that is related to that. But the point is that she knows, or she has more experience about that. She has been more years in the industry, and then she has good contacts. And of course, now she shares with me a knowledge and experience. But that's very important. Who are you going to buy from, right? And if it is an architect, right now we are a little bit far now, but we were with a couple that decided to build, right? And we're still there, but they are already building. Yeah. And the full process, the full beginning of the process to hire an architect, well, that was
Challenging?
yeah, challenging. That's the word. And of course, we were there all the time to say this. No, well, you can ask for this or the other, or we suggest you to. Because that's another thing. We have different resources or different contacts.
Yeah.
And so we see that a potential issue, we suggest, we should bring on this other contact, or we were a lawyer,
Whatever is necessary. Yes. And we have another couple who's restoring our home. Historic areas of it's a different kind of ones, and bad out there. So it's exciting, and for us, I mean, I know this is about you, but this is exciting. It's what makes me want to. One of the many things that makes me want to get up in the morning.
yeah.
Nice.
So, what about these 6 months now?
Yeah. So the 6 months.
What has that been like?
To manual the low and
Indeed. I think for me, I was still transitioning from corporate to being entrepreneur. And so I was doing two transitions at once.
Yeah.
And jumping fully to being here all the time. And, doing life the way locals do life. And then also preparing to exit corporate in February. So it was much more challenging for me, I believe, than maybe for fans, although some of my issues lead over into her world because of the relationship. But I think from just being here, I had a medical condition that I see. Just being here 6 months, I no longer have that condition.
Oh, really? That's because the healthy way you.
I mean, there's a litany of things, but I think, vegetables are different.
Yeah.
Quality in meat.
Yeah.
I'm not taking in a whole bunch of hormones and pesticides anymore.
We hear that a lot.
And better, lost weight.
I hear that we hear this all the time. Yeah. This shed, it comes off and you're trying. Not changing much of your lifestyle, like I said, being here.
So there's some sort of secret power
He's not gonna to someone.
Inside of the refocusing away from hustle and bustle to slowing things down, being family oriented, enjoying life, being in the moment, just taking the time to.
Please.
I could not do that 7 months ago.
Okay.
Now I wake up when I want to get up. So I'm like ready to go. I'm totally that's to this day. In other words, before I was on a schedule, do. No, but that.
Yeah, kind of like robotic, right? And now even more. And what your experience, Fancy? It's been very good. And like Mike, I was we just had a very stringent schedule that's go, go, go. And I had imagined when we got here that I would be on the rooftop all day basking in the sun. That when we got here, I had done it. And it's been a different sort of busy. It's been me setting up our home. And we have met so many new friends. We have the best neighbors. All of our neighbors are Mexican. They're just so sweet and they've helped us out a lot. And we just really enjoyed being here.
I've got more friends now.
We haven't.
I mean, active friends that we do stuff with every
week. We always can you give some examples? Because I don't can know what you do. What kind?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same stuff we do back. Sometimes we go down to the cinema, catch a movie together. There's all sorts of wineries. We go winery hop. That's not
hang out and
then there's also these so-called magic seas that we can drive.
What was magical?
Yeah. And then there's so much culture here. There's never a bored moment if you want to be out and about. And there's Centro, and there's always something to do in Centro or somewhere good to go and eat.
Yeah. It's like we will never be bored. This is a social culture. Yeah. People are always getting together, doing something. And if you're walking down the street, they're going to say, hey, come join us. Yeah. It's just been fantastic. Do you find it amazing when you walk? Because there's several parks here, as even that, there's always, well, usually, especially early in the morning and after work, they're full. They're people walking their dogs and down in the light. Yeah, and that's what I mean by this is a social culture. There's no need. I mean, if you don't want to be lonely, if you want to socialize, just walk down the street. Yeah. And you will have ample opportunity to meet people and just do life with people.
And, I think Mexico offers a bit of a longevity play, too. People get old in the States from I'm not doing much. So much to do. I see like super duper elderly people here that are in better physical condition than me, and I know they're at least 20 and older. There's a really, really old lady riding a mountain bike up the mountain.
Yeah, wow. Yes.
What's going on? I wouldn't even think about going. This is her nor.
Yeah. I have two questions. One is, what is it driving in Queretaro? But before that, many people ask us about that, like the quality of the furniture, how easy it is to get furniture. How did you experience setting up your home? So it was, I won't say difficult, but it was quite different. I had to make some adjustments because I never thought it would be as challenging to find what I like. But I was able to just be prepared to pay a little more for it because of import. But I was able to find
like very good, wood, solid, beautiful pieces of furniture that I like a lot, and just have the budget for it.
I think so. And we even have, and that's setting up your house, right? That we haven't even touched upon. That might be a second episode or whatever. But how with the prices, the real estate prices, you haven't gotten your property taxes.
No,
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can enter in. That's true. I think at one point we must have mentioned how ridiculously low they are.
so from our last home we had in Texas, we were $12,400 for the property tax. That's not the social fees. That's not the homeowners association. It's not the private fee. That's this. Here we pay $240. $240 there about.
So less than 5,000 pesos
See,
per year.
Yeah, that was that freaking tax.
Yes, and the HOA fee.
Now that you're owners, you have to pay
Yeah,
your property.
yeah,
Property taxes on.
it's really economical. What's it like? $16 a month.
I think it's because
Even when they're like inside,
yeah,
they were really inside.
and you pay for see that
And when I'm still I think it's about $25 per month.
$25.
Which
a
is-
month. So
yeah.
the previous community in Texas, it was $240 for the HOA. Again, that's not the being private community fee and that's not the social fee. What?
That's a big difference.
We live incredibly well and are able to eat out in really nice places on $1,500 a month. That's because we own this piece of property.
Yeah, we're not paying it.
And it also allows us to travel. We just left PV for 5 days.
Wow, yeah, you were telling me.
Yes, and well,
Puerto Vallarta, sorry.
Portoya.
I'm happy. So let's talk about the driving in Querétaro.
Oh yeah, the driving.
Well, what do you think?
I think I'm much for driving. Nancy will drive inside of the community. It's much more predictable. But outside the gates, she leaves that to me. And it is an experience.
Okay, well, we were at that.
But I've learned that there's a system. There's eye contact.
Oh yeah,
I still.
oh yeah.
With eye contact.
Yeah.
It's not just like, people are just doing whatever. You just got to understand the eye contact. And I think I've gotten it now. I've been through some pretty ugly roundabouts in the negotiation.
Oh yeah.
It's very, so I feel
One
like,
phrase in fart.
I feel like I've gotten my stripes now.
And their hand gestures, right? Like thank you. It's like this.
Which one of our like need to go?
Oh, go
around
ahead.
this-
Yeah, which might seem like maybe something different or from another culture. Like,
I have not been flipped off here in a whole year.
is that a common occur in the state?
Yeah, I would get flipped off every week.
Oh,
And I was just doing the speed limit. I'm getting flipped off for doing the speed limit or for letting somebody in from the on-ramp.
wow.
Okay, so just to let you know, I'm not sure you have nuns, but now we have speed cameras now.
Oh, you would have an experience with your daughter.
Well, we pay a good amount of money at the beginning of the year. We didn't know they were working, and it turns out that in order to pay the car taxes, we had to pay the fine.
Yes, first.
Yeah. And if you guys are renting a car and driving in the city, just be careful with the speed limit.
Yeah.
It's 80
It
kilometers.
depends. Each lane, 60, 80.
Oh, yeah. But
On Franco Serra, which is the one around.
yeah, so I'm curious about your reality with groceries. That's another question that we received. What do you find at grocery shops? Is that what you expected? Is more than you expected?
It's actually more than I expected. Tell us about HEB. They're still saying we have HEB at home.
So, but I feel like this HEB is like step up level. I mean, it's fabulous. Like, we always get gorgeous organic fruits and vegetables. The meat is wonderful. Gosh, we go to the butcher at HEB. Yeah. And they can do anything for you. You know, I like in particular about my meat. I like it thin. Yeah. And they'll make it as thin as I want it. And it's fabulous.
Are you finding the probably different products, but somehow are you replacing the products that you used to use in the States here?
Yes. And I have some favorite products there, but like you said, I've learned to replace it with Mexican versions, which is fine. But the grocery store chains around here have international section. So if there's something I'm really missing from home, I can also always find it in that international section for a little extra fee, but yeah, it's there if you really want it.
I'm not sure if you would like to share your experience, like for instance, people's curious about Amazon working here. Can you share anything?
Yeah, I set up an account. I didn't have any problems at all. First couple of times because the people at the guard shack didn't know us. No, they would phone us and you have to authorize them to come in. But we have a warehouse just a few kilometers away, so we still have products that are here. We can get some stuff same day, just like U.S. or Texas. 2 days is standard. There are, for those items that you must have that are stateside only, there's some significant, what's that? Importation fee. Yeah. And now tariff. So we have changed, to your point, to just really depending on Mexican products made in Mexico or, already here through some other mechanism. So we don't have to pay that. And
Yeah, correct. Is there any, like, comparing the initial expectation versus your actual reality? Is there anything that you would like to add? Yeah.
I have a greater sense of gratitude for the decision, for being able to do this. The ages that we are, we're not totally, we're a bit different than most that, retiring. The fact that this decision has been able to change my health disposition and to change my body composition, to get me in a mindset space. Positivity is just who I am. I've been able to do that because I've had the time to work on it. And then you take that or those three components and marry it with culture, makes family first. And now that I have adopted some of those same principles, you put all that together and you feel like in that whole. So from an expectations perspective, wish I had tons of
So that makes me happy. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you're cool. I am curious if you had an experience with doctors now that you're bringing your health situation.
So I have a cardiologist. We have a functional doctor that we go to. They are incredibly ineffective for what they do and the service level that they're providing. I can't even begin to tell you how much I don't understand why things are the way they are in Texas versus here. It's so simple here. You go in, you get a diagnosis, and they tell you it's going to be this much, and that much is really, really inexpensive. The doctors, most of them are trained in the U.S. or other places. And certified here in other places. So there is no gap. in the healthcare, the gap, the fact I feel like the service I've gotten here is superior. Never in the States have I received my doctor's phone number.
Oh,
Never have I been able to communicate with my doctor on a Sunday morning when my tummy is like going mad. And he send me over a script and I go to the office next week and try to pay him because I didn't even do anything. I'll see you in a month. Don't enjoy your day. I am not experienced. Right? So healthcare for me here, especially the work that I was doing with the cardiologists in the States would have been tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I might have spent $1,000 here.
do you use a medical insurance?
No,
We're
out
all
of pocket.
out of pocket.
We haven't gotten to that. We want to talk to you guys about that pretty soon, but it's all out of pocket, but it's so reasonable that I'm kind of questioning whether I should
We just
have one.
found someone that we're going to look into because somebody recommended him because we've been on the lookout for somebody to have several options, not just one. Yeah, fine. So we'll let you know. Thank you so much, Shervette, Mike, Liz, my business partner, and I'm ROMI from MyPlaceAtQuerétaro, real estate and relocation.
We appreciate you very much. We really enjoyed this session.
Yeah.
We need to have our hours. Contact us if you are coming to Scapa City or deciding to live here. Try. We are, as Romy said, My Place at Queretaro, real estate and relocation. You find us on Facebook.
Yep.
Right. And
Yep.
email. And in Mexico, we use a lot of WhatsApp. So contact us. It must be shown in the screen. Thank you, guys.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye. Bye.